thirst is too powerful to ignore. Eventually, the crush of bodies from behind forces a decision. When the first few wildebeest drink, they break the deadlock. It's what the crocodiles have been waiting for, a committed consensus. The ragtag crocs study their prey. A teenage croc makes her move. But she's too eager. It takes years to perfect an ambush. Younger crocs lack experience and patience. More juvenile crocs give it a go, but they're not sneaky enough for these wildebeests. Every pit stop hunt is a disaster. The strikes are badly timed, even when prey seems to make it easy. Every miss wastes time because the panicked herds are slow to return to the river or move elsewhere. Downriver, DC, the dominant croc, is already in place. DC works alone and won't have it any other way. The ragtags could learn from this old pro. First step, study the prey. Experience has taught him to look before he leaps. Second, submerge and wait. But the herd disperses before he can hide. He's forced to change his spot. He doesn't go far. There's a pool just to his right, and he gets an impromptu indication of its depth. A final check before he ducks under. And now the long wait. Luckily, DC can stay underwater for over an hour if he has to. The real challenge is patience. The longer he can wait, the more unguarded his prey will be. These zebras have no idea the biggest croc in the river is right under them. A perfect strike. Jaws snap shut like a sprung trap. 8 times more powerful than a shot bite. DC drags the 300-kilogram adult with ease. But the pool's not deep enough. He can't just pull him under and drown him. The zebra can push against the bottom, which gives him critical leverage. And then he attacks DC's most vulnerable area. His eyes. The pit stop's shallow water bolsters the zebra, and DC's forced to release his grip. Even a top croc knows failure all too well. 70 kilometers away to the north, on the Mara River, a dramatically different battle begins. A deep river with steep banks changes everything. To reach the water requires a leap of faith. You can't change your mind halfway. This is a plunge into the deep end. The wildebeest are completely at the mercy of this liquid element. Deep water is the ultimate kill zone for the crocodile. Above or below, he's master of this water pit. 50 meters wide and 6 meters deep. Wildebeest reflexes and speed are stymied in the water. At 10 kilometers an hour, they're like sitting ducks. The croc can swim up to 28 kilometers an hour, so he can hit any target he chooses. There's no challenge. Aim, drown, and eat. The pandemonium is a call to action for the crocodiles. A flotilla of giants responds. For the wildebeest, there's no turning back. In the deep water, they struggle to breathe. There's a real risk of drowning, and panic is contagious. When they're not fighting the water, they fight the terrain. Broken ankles and snapped necks increase the body count each season. Their only play is safety in numbers, which means someone is going to die. Croc bodies are laterally flattened, custom built to slice through the water. Their tails are pure muscle mass to provide thrust. And topping off the design is a crushing jaw, with the strongest bite force in the animal kingdom. This is no mere meal. It's a banquet. Exposed in the middle of the river, life is a deadly lottery. When your number is up, there is no defense. The Mara crocodiles have a massive weight advantage. Once they hold their head underwater, the river does the rest. The crocs have hit the jackpot with this location. Killing here is easy. Herd members can't stop to help the victims. The survivors head for the safety of the opposite bank. But even here, they aren't safe. Crocs wait to ambush any stragglers exhausted from the epic swim.
When the world descends into chaos, for me, it's a battle cry. Weakened, desperate, they crumble under the pressure. But the fire within me burns bright. It's time to show them who's the real alpha. The world may test our limits, but our spirit will not be broken. Epic Fight Nights starts Monday, 19th August, 7 p.m. on Animal Planet. They fear my every movement, tremble at the sound of my roar. I can kill anyone I want. All are my prey in this wild domain. For I am the king of this jungle. This is my realm, my kingdom. Watch Mission Big Cat, Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. on Animal Planet.
Once prey is drowned, feeding is a team effort. It's the only way to control a carcass in deep water. While certain crocs clamp onto this zebra to hold it steady, others perform the infamous death roll, spinning on the spot to tear the carcass apart. Cooperating ensures that everyone gets a bite. It's also easier to battle the strong current as a group. There are more jaws to stop the carcass from being swept away. A meal doesn't last long. The adult zebra is obliterated in less than 40 minutes. No one goes hungry here, because there's always more where that came from. Crocodiles that are full to bursting harness the sun's heat to speed up their digestion. In fact, there's so much food on the Mara, most crocs stuff themselves to capacity till they're forced to blob out on the beach and digest. They have to wait for food to be absorbed or pass through them before they can go back for seconds. Back on the Grumeti, DC isn't that lucky. He knows the wildebeest will soon move forward. It's much easier for the herds to navigate the Grumeti. Shallow water and narrow channels swing the advantage to the prey. After his recent failure, DC is ready and waiting. The shallows is a difficult and dangerous place to hunt, even for an experienced croc. The crossing is narrow at 9 meters wide, so he won't have a lot of time. The water is only 80 centimeters deep, so DC can't submerge comfortably. Wildebeest run across at 50 kilometers an hour in a tight group, so isolating a single target is impossible. His plan: swim directly into the middle of the herd and grab one. The wildebeest dash across to limit the time they're exposed. If DC gets too close, they'll land on top of him. It's a big herd, thousands of meals on the hoof. DC is determined to get at least one. He tries to read the situation, but it's too choppy for him to see anything. And when he lifts his head further above the wave action, he gives himself away. The wildebeest steer clear. It's no better underwater. A calf should be easy to catch. But DC's blind in the murk. The opportunity's lost. When the herd closes ranks, he's in real danger. He's got thick armor, but a stampede could knock him out. His attempt is half-hearted. They ride roughshod over him. It's way too dangerous. He's got his meal. Now he has to keep it. Good news travels fast in the trenches. The ragtags also haven't had a decent meal yet. Blood in the water attracts them like moths to a flame. Everyone wants in on the action. Meat makes a pleasant change to fish. DC has no intention to share. A croc his size needs 10 calves to fill his belly. But eating alone is difficult for crocodiles. They have to swallow their meals whole. Their jaws don't move from side to side, so they can't chew food into smaller pieces. DC's in a quandary. He can't fight off the ragtags with his mouth full, and the awkward hunk of meat just won't slip down his throat. If he wants to eat, he'll have to share. Jaws lock on to grip and twist like pairs of pliers. Spinning around a fixed axis is an efficient way to divide the spoils. DC hangs on to as much as he can, while his massive bulk provides a solid weight to pull against. By cooperating, DC finally gets a bite.
घुटने तो टूटेंगे। कुछ बचाना है तो हौसले को बचाओ। पता है कि आसान नहीं है। पता है ये रास्ते, ये मुश्किलें, ये दुनिया बहुत बड़ी है। और उसके सामने हम बहुत जिद्दी हैं। और दुनिया को अभी ये कहा पता है कि हम कितने जिद्दी हैं। Yamaha R15 version 4 co-presents MotoGP. Face car, race car.
As usual, the wildebeest set things in motion. The next big herd arrives to drink. It's a pit stop hunt. DC's up. He must approach without being detected. But this time, he's got a new game plan. He'll submerge way in advance of his strike. An hour underwater. The maximum stretch he can hold his breath. Crocodiles don't see very well underwater, so DC will navigate using sound and touch. So far, his sneaky technique works. These wildebeests are far less skittish than the earlier group. His strike comes out of nowhere. A perfect ambush. The ragtags react immediately. Those splashes are as clear as a dinner bell. This water is deep enough to drown the adult cow. DC picked a good spot. In less than 2 minutes, it's all over. The ragtags move in. DC tries to drag his carcass upstream, but the ragtags have him surrounded. DC is out for blood. As the dominant croc, he's not about to give up his prize without a fight. The rival male will be taught a lesson. It's a show of dominance and a punishment for theft. But DC underestimates the ragtags. The big croc is only a decoy. While DC is distracted, the others steal his kill. His wildebeest is already a mile away. It's a clever strategy for a tough predator zone. All of the benefits, few of the risks. DC is so focused on the rival, he doesn't even notice his dinner's gone. His need to prove he's the alpha male costs him a meal. He can't reclaim the carcass now. The ragtag crocs will digest it all. Skin, bones, and even horns. But DC has no time to brood. His snout swiftly registers a new opportunity. Specialized pits on his nose pick up minute pressure changes. Percussive hoofbeats vibrate through the water. A rock crossing. The rocks is the most challenging crossing for the crocodile. DC is totally exposed in 30 centimeters of water. But wildebeest walk carefully over the rocks, and that's his opportunity. His MO, creep closer in full view to cause panic and take advantage of any wildebeest that falls. He'll use the hazardous zone itself against his prey. But first he's got to get there, which means he also has to clamber over sharp, protruding rocks. Wildebeest crossing waves, and this latest group won't last forever. If he can get right up to the herd and cause panic, he's got a chance. But the herd detects him. They reroute downstream. It's a bad decision. Now they're trapped, cornered against a wall of rock and driftwood. Nowhere to go but into each other. Exactly where DC wants them. This first attack is not about catching, it's about chaos. "500 kilograms of solid crocodile smacks into the herd. The wildebeest fly over the rocks, unconcerned about their landing. This is the panic he was after. Wildebeest make foolish mistakes when they're scared. Chaos makes their kill easy. The calves run right into DC's jaws. He clamps onto the snout, so it will be easy to drown in the shallow water. This is a meal he can manage alone. Or so he hopes. He's done it on his own. But the hard-earned meal has taken its toll. Unlike mammals, reptiles are not designed for endurance. Even short bursts of activity build up dangerous levels of lactic acid that have to be expelled from their systems. DC's attack and dismemberment saps all his energy. It's going to take at least 2 hours to rid his body of the toxins and rebound. DC might be the alpha croc, but right now he's as vulnerable as a hatchling. He literally can't move. The good news is few animals threaten him. The bad news is one of them is here. Hippos also live in these trenches, and they're fiercely territorial.